Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and today I wanted to give you guys a reading about what unexpected surprises are coming to you in the next 3 months. So usually I like to just have it be like positive surprises, but in this time I kind of want it to be, any unexpected thing that you might want to know about. So there may or may not be some things in here that turn out to be warnings, so just prefacing, like, if you came into this thinking it's only positive, like blessings coming forward, it's not that I'm only saying, like, I'm intending to go into this reading looking for bad things only. More so, I'm allowing anything to come forward that you might need to know about. So, just kind of wanted to get that out of the way. But today I have 3 different piles for you to choose from. Pile 1 is with this Angelite crystal. Pile 2 with this black tourmaline. And pile 3 with the Labradorite. So go ahead, take a moment, figure out which pile you feel most drawn to. I've left timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading you feel most drawn to. But without further ado, that's all that I have to say. Go ahead and enjoy your reading. Alright, pile 1. If you chose the Angelite, then this is going to be the reading for you. Now, I'm starting off here with an energy check-in, just to see what's going on with you right now in your life, how are you feeling, and this part of the reading will just help you realize if this is going to resonate or not. If it doesn't, I urge you to check out a different pile, or it could just be that this video isn't for you. But getting into it, I feel like those of you that were drawn to pile 1 have been dealing with a lot of anxieties, specifically when it comes to social situations. And what I'm thinking more is like building relationships, new relationships, or even vulnerability, like being more open to vulnerability with people. So I feel like some of your biggest worries at the moment have been about opening up to either people that you want to be closer to or just building new friendships or relationships in general. And what I see here is I feel like you have so much. Like with this sweetness card, I'm imagining somebody that is just a pure soul that has so much to offer to people. Like I'm getting like funny, bubbly, like sun energy vibes, like where people are just drawn to you just because they like being in your presence. But for some reason, maybe when you were younger, someone made you feel like you don't have that inherent sweetness. Like you are not worthy of having friendships or people aren't going to want to be around you. And for some reason or another, you've develop this fear that nobody's going to want to be around you, people don't enjoy your presence, and you've been dealing with all these anxieties because I feel like on the inside you are such an extrovert. And maybe you've always labeled yourself as an introvert, but it's almost like one of those things where I feel like true introverts have fun on their own. But when you're on your own, you're feeling lonely, you're wishing that you had close friends that you could just feel comfortable around. But it's like you're basically an extrovert living the life of an introvert because of things that made you feel like you're less than or made you feel like you're not deserving of these kinds of relationships. And I feel like you're going through this kind of growth moment where Spirit is trying to get you to open up a little bit more because I feel like you're about to meet people that you will have a lot of fun with, or at least people that will mean a lot to you and you'll mean a lot to them. But unless you're able to be ready to receive this, unless you're ready to open up, you're not going to be able to develop these relationships. And I don't necessarily think that like you need to quickly get your shit together or else these people are going to leave you behind. No, I think it's more like you're going to be going through this path and this process of learning to open up more and learning to have more belief in yourself and your abilities when it comes to these kinds of relationship building situations, if that makes sense. And I feel like for so long you've been in protection mode like a turtle where you've hidden yourself away, maybe you've said no to invites, or maybe you haven't gone to socials, or maybe if this is like about vulnerability, maybe you've always kind of held people at arm's length and you thought you were protecting yourself. But in reality, I feel like it's like you're putting this sweetness under lock and key, and in the end, you're just damaging yourself. You're just isolating from all the people that want to get to know you because you're so afraid of it possibly going wrong. You're so afraid that people aren't actually going to want to be around you, or things are suddenly going to fail, or if you open up to them, they're suddenly going to be disgusted by you. When I think that's absolutely not the truth. I feel like if you're drawn to this angelite, to me it kind of looks like a cloud, if a cloud was like made out of water or like teardrops. I don't know. It seems like such a soft crystal. It's even called angelite. And I feel like the kinds of people that are drawn to this are those kinds of soft angels that just want to be loved, that just want to love other people. And you deserve so much more than just being afraid and like hiding yourself away and never getting close to people and having this fear of opening up to them. Because you deserve happiness and you deserve those kinds of relationships and you want it. I can feel deep down, even if you tell yourself you don't want that, or I'm not the type of person that likes going out, deep down you are, and you're just too afraid to let yourself have it. I have a few more cards here that I'm currently going to show you. Let me just zoom out. And I did pre-shuffle, so let me quickly get these out. All right, pile one. So I got out your cards, and these 3 cards here in the middle are actually from a new deck, which is called Voice of the Soul's Oracle. And this is the first time that I'm trying it out in a YouTube tarot reading, so hopefully it all goes smoothly, as I am still becoming accustomed to it. But for the unexpected things that I see coming to you in the next 3 months, we have learning with number 4, free message, number 39, and you, number 32. Now, learning and you have their separate tarot cards to clarify them, but I want to start with free message, which is here in the middle, because this card isn't something I'm supposed to tell you about, or at least that's what the guidebook says. So feel free, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you're watching the video, you are actually supposed to look at this yourself and see what it tells you, like intuitively what you think this message is saying to you. So take a moment, see if, maybe the number 39 means something to you, maybe if this crescent moon means something, or maybe this skull, or even the number 39, 3 and 9. 9 is basically 3 plus 3 plus 3, and 3 plus 9 is 12, which 1 plus 2 is 3, so maybe number 3 is important to you. But yeah, so that's that card. I'm not really supposed to explain it because it's more what you get out of the image. But moving on to the other 2, with learning and you, I feel like in these next 3 months, I don't think it's so much something unexpected coming to you, so much as you're learning about yourself, things that you never would have expected. It's like you're going to be turning into a person that you never believed that you could be. Like an idealized version, like maybe you look at other people and you're like, God, I wish I could be like them. And you had no idea that you could actually be like them all along. And you're going to be turning into that person, and that's what that unexpected surprise is. It's you turning into this person that you've always wanted to become but never believed that you could be. And with the learning card, especially the number 4 on here, number 4 is all about building up strong foundations. And I think you are going to be building yourself into a much more confident, comfortable person, especially with this Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles knows her worth. She is the queen of, Pentacle is stability, it's earth, it's in the material world having that stability. And you're finally coming into this place in your life where you don't need outside validation. You no longer have these insecurities because you know you have everything within you. And not just that, it's not like you're becoming this like hardened person who has this tough outer exterior. If anything, the Queen of Pentacles has this stability because she's so open to receiving. And I feel like a big part of this learning that you're going to be going through, mostly emotional, probably spiritual as well, learning is about letting down these walls and being okay with the fact that you're going into this unknown. The best way that you're going to be breaking down these anxieties is by pushing yourself out there and actually allowing yourself to experience all those things that you were so afraid of, and just instead of closing your eyes and being terrified of it, being open and receiving and say, if something is meant for me, it'll happen. And even if it happens badly, it was meant to be. And it's more like you're letting go of the outcome so that you can accept these good things coming into your life. And because of that, it's making you feel so much more confident in your abilities, confident in yourself as a person. I feel like if you've dealt with insecurities when it comes to, your social interactions, maybe the way you look or how people think of you, you're becoming so confident in who you are and loving yourself more for who you are that it's less about, I hope they like me, and more like, do I even like them? you know? And you'll be not just like allowing any person into your life, but it's like people will want to come to you and you'll be able to say, it's almost like you're getting to pick and choose. Where once I feel like you were so, like you'd latch on to anybody that might have come your way because it's like, finally, there's somebody in my life that wants to be around me. But no, instead it's like all these people are drawn to you and you get to say, that person's not good for me, or this person is good for me, I'm going to allow them into my life, if that makes sense. It's like I feel like you're going to be doing this complete flip-flop from this like socially anxious person that's terrified of vulnerability to being like that person that you idolize that's full of confidence, radiates confidence, and also radiates comfort and warmth, and that's why people will be so drawn to you. And another thing that I think that you're going to be learning with you clarified by the magician is you're learning that everything that you've ever wanted, everything that you've ever wanted to achieve has always been within reach. You've always had everything within you to accomplish what it is you desire, to get those relationships, to get the things that you want. And it's almost like, it's not like you're unlocking these things and making them come to you. It's like you're unlocking your ability to realize that you've had the ability to get these things all along, if that makes sense. So what these unexpected surprises are, I don't think it's like external things coming to you. It's like you have this unexpected surprise that everything that you've ever wanted was already there. You just had to go out and get it. And it's like, I feel like you thought maybe getting these things or getting these relationships would be an uphill battle. But in the end, it's like, all you had to do is realize that you are enough, that you deserve these things. And then they've already been waiting for you. Whatever relationship you want or whatever it is that you were trying to work towards that you were so afraid of, or maybe you were so afraid of them that you couldn't even work towards them. It's like your life is going to be doing a complete flip-flop, and 3 months from now, you're going to be living a completely different, happier, more comfortable, more confident life. I really hope that makes sense. I'm not super familiar with these cards yet, but that's kind of the message that I'm getting. It's like, at the moment, I feel like you're feeling so alone, you're feeling so isolated, and even if you don't admit it to yourself right now, what you really want is to build strong bonds with people. And I feel like you have such a warmth and such a sweetness to you that people would love to be around you, but for so long, it's like you've believed that you're not worthy or people won't like you. And so you've thought that you've been protecting yourself by never being open to receiving these things. But in reality, it's like, there's that little part of you that's like, why am I not allowed to have friends? Why aren't you letting me see these people? And your unexpected surprise is realizing that you can be the person that you want to be, that you can have these relationships. And more than that, people want these relationships with you. And you will be able to maintain them for, years, lifetimes even. And you are going to be growing into a Queen of Pentacles, which is this person that is at the height of their confidence, that is not confidence in a cocky way, but confident because they know they have everything they need to succeed. Especially with this Magician card to back it up. It's like if you look at someone and you're like, I want to be with them, or I want to form a bond with them, or I want to get this thing. All you have to do is just take a step towards it, and suddenly it's yours. Because you have everything that you need within you to succeed, and that's what you're going to be learning. So, pile 1, I really hope that resonated. I really hope it makes sense. And if you enjoyed your reading, please feel free to leave a like or subscribe. I do post about twice a week, and if you're looking for any personal readings, I do provide those. There's a link down in the description box below. But without further ado, pile 1, I truly wish you the best in everything that you do. Bye-bye. Alright, pile 2. If you chose the black tourmaline, then this is the message for you. Now, I have a very specific message, so this is not going to resonate with everybody. If it doesn't resonate with you, then feel free to check out a different pile if you felt drawn to a different pile, or it could just be that this isn't the reading for you. But for some of you, I feel like you are going against your family's wishes in order to chase something that truly makes you happy. I feel like you're doing something that really goes against the way that you were brought up. Maybe there were certain expectations about what your life should look like, what you should do. It could even be like when it comes to sexual orientation or, politically political wise, you are going against the values that you were raised with, right? And I think on one hand, you're feeling so freed that you've, left behind this constricting environment that was stopping you so that you can pursue what truly makes you happy, so that you can be your most authentic self. But at the same time, just because you had these disagreements with these people doesn't mean that they're not still your family and that you don't still care about them. I'm specifically getting like a feeling like a parent, specifically a mom, that was especially upset at you leaving, and you may have had a very hard disagreement in your parting, like maybe like even an argument about it, and you might not have spoken to each other in a long time because of this. And I feel like you don't regret this decision because you are being truly authentic with yourself about what you want, who you want to be, and you're not compromising that for anyone. But at the same time, it's so painful because, I don't know, I'm almost getting the image in my mind of like this little girl and this mom. Not that you're a girl or that this is your mom, but this is the image in my mind. I'm getting this image of this little girl and this mom who were so close when the little girl was young. But as the little girl grew up, she started having her other ideas of what she wanted her life to look like. She stopped doing the kinds of things that the mom wanted her to do because she was branching off to become her own person. But as she grew up, the mom and the daughter started to fight and grow apart. Even though they still loved each other, they had this sort of irreconcilable difference. And because of that, there's this deep heartbreak. And possibly even anger and resentment between the two of you that hasn't quite healed. And on the one hand, you're very happy that you're being authentic with yourself, but on the other, there's this unhealed wound that's really, really stuck with you. And I think you are building a very positive life with yourself. With this trust card, I feel like you are very secure in your decision to leave behind this life that was constricting you. You possibly have met people that feel like your new family, but deep down you kind of miss your actual flesh and blood, even though there were disagreements, even though you could have been so mad at them. A part of you still wishes that things could be different. And with the unexpected surprises, I feel like there will be a reconciliation between the two of you. And this is a very bold statement, and also like at this point this is like such a direct message to a very, very small group of people because this is like really, really specific. So I just want to preface by saying that even if you feel like that beginning message resonates with you, this is a general reading. It's not for one person in specific. So I don't want to get your hopes up by saying like there will be reconciliation, there's going to be forgiveness. I mean, that is what I'm saying in this reading, but I also want you to know this is not a personal reading. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up if this does not come to fruition. So I have to preface that, especially in important emotional readings like this. But for those of you that are feeling very aligned with this reading, like this is really resonating for you, what I see for you in the next 3 months is a lot of emotions from the past, especially with this disagreement and this pain with this person, are going to start coming up again. Maybe it's a birthday or a specific holiday that you used to really celebrate together. Or maybe you see old pictures on your phone, or for some reason you hear their name and suddenly it's bringing up all these old emotions, and you're still very much living the life that you're living. You are not compromising and you are not going to change anything about you. But at the same time, you're still feeling all this pain for this person, this past relationship, and mourning how things could have been if they could have just accepted you for who you are and what you wanted to do in life. And I feel like a part of you hasn't, I mean, you definitely are proud of what you're doing. You're proud of yourself for being authentic and living the life that you want to live. But I feel like a part of you still holds resentment, and maybe even a part of you is mad at yourself for having these subversive ideas or wanting to live this different lifestyle. And you haven't fully, even on the surface, if you seem like I'm so proud of myself, I wouldn't change my decision, a part of you still feels this deep pain and sadness and maybe even wishes that you had just, stayed within the lines of the life that they drew up for you. And what I see here is not just a message of forgiveness between you and this person, but even if that doesn't happen, you yourself are finally coming to terms with this divide within yourself and healing from it. So it's one of those things where you can do your best to get closure with another person, but if that closure is dependent on them doing or saying a specific thing, you will never get closure from them unless they say all the right things. But for you, I feel like you are finally getting closure within yourself. And maybe you reach out to them, maybe they reach out to you, but the bottom line I see is you will be having closure within yourself. Like, you will finally heal from this, even if they don't accept you, even if you don't talk to them ever again. And with message of forgiveness, I feel like there is definitely a possibility of reconciliation and forgiveness, but they will never be happy with the fact that you went against their wishes. And you will never be happy with the fact that they couldn't support you through everything that you did, because they will always still wish that you went the traditional route, that you lived the life that they wanted you to live. And you will always be a little upset at them for not supporting you through any of your through your passions, no matter what they were. And so there will always be that divide, but no matter what, even if there is this divide, there will be some sort of message of forgiveness. There will be some sort of closure you're getting, whether it's with them or on your own. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. I think it's very tricky, the fact that there is forgiveness, even though they're not like, it's like one of those things where I'll never accept your lifestyle or this life that you've decided to leave, but I will still love you no matter what, is the kind of message I have to say. So it's not the exact kind of reconciliation I think that you're hoping for, because I feel like people, especially older people, tend to be very set in their ways. But deep down, I'm still seeing that little girl and the mom and the love that they have together. Deep down, I see that you guys do really love each other so strongly, even now, even though that there's this rift, this distance, and this physical pain. And it's almost like you two have gone in your separate directions, but you're ready to accept that you are in two separate directions. Even if you're mad at the other person, they're mad at you, there's just an acceptance here. And that's the kind of message that I want to give to you. So, pile 2, like I said, this was a very, very specific message. But just to kind of rehash it, I feel like something in the next 3 months is going to be bringing up this pain. And this unexpected surprise is going to be the fact that, maybe it's been years since you two grew apart or things fell apart between you two. And suddenly you're like, why am I thinking about these things? I thought I buried this in the past. But I think Spirit and your guides are really saying it's time for your heart to fully heal. Because it's like, if you look at this picture, I feel like you've been living with this dagger in your heart ever since this happened and these thorns around it. And if anything, your heart just healed around the knife, but the knife was never fully pulled out. And Spirit really wants you to fully heal, and it's time to pull that knife out. And pulling that knife out means finally getting the closure you need. And it's going to be hard. I mean, this is physical pain that you've been dealing with for a long time. But it's time for that dagger to be removed. Even if you didn't realize it, that it's still there, even if you didn't realize that this thing was still hurting you, it's like suddenly just seeing a picture or hearing their name brings up all this pain again, because it hasn't been resolved, because you haven't gotten the closure that you need. But I see you not just getting closure within yourself and fully healing yourself, but possibly even beginning to start healing this rift between you and this person. So, pile 2, I really hope that it resonated, and I truly, truly hope that you find closure in any way that you need. But yeah, that's all that I have to say for you today. If you enjoyed your reading, please think about leaving a like or subscribing. If you want more from me, I post about twice a week now. And if you are looking for a personal reading, because those can be a lot more detailed and personal, there is a link down in the description box below to my shop. But that's all that I have to say to you. Pile 2, I truly, truly wish you the best in everything that you do. Bye-bye. All right, pile 3. Last but certainly not least, if you chose the Labradorite, then this is going to be the reading for you. Now, with this reading, I'm starting off with an energy check-in, just to kind of see what's going on in your life right now, how you're feeling, just so you can see if this part of the reading is, or if this reading is going to resonate with you or not. So if this doesn't sound like a reading for you, it could be that you chose the wrong pile, or it could just be that this video isn't for you. But starting off with your energy check-in, even though I have this happiness card right here, I feel like I almost get a sense that it's a false sense of happiness, that you've almost lulled yourself into thinking that you're happy when really you're not. And you're coming to this point where you're almost surrendering and giving up and being like, okay, what's actually going on here? Because I've been pretending that I'm all right. I've been pretending that this thing isn't bothering me. Because I feel like there has been something that has been on your mind. And it's been really nagging at you, and it's been making you feel really down and confused and irrationally angry. And you've tried distracting yourself and pretending like you're not upset, pretending like you're happy, but there is something that hasn't been resolved, and it's continuing to eat away at you. And with the rejection card, I feel like anytime you think about a certain thing that happened in the past, a certain person, you just reject it flat out. You push it away, you push it down, and you don't think about it. And I feel like even though you've been doing your best to not think about this and pretend like it doesn't bother you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So for some of you, this is a past relationship that ended badly, or a past opportunity that you maybe didn't go about properly. And what I see happening in these next 3 months is these unresolved feelings that you've been trying so hard to keep from surfacing are finally coming back up because they need to be resolved. So I especially see with regrets and secrets that this is something that you could possibly be ashamed of, because I feel like you have a regret about something in the past, and the reason that you regret it is because you behaved in a way that you are not proud of. You behaved immaturely or pettily, or you did something that was really messed up, and looking back, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Like, you're so ashamed of yourself for this thing. Maybe you betrayed a loved one or something, but whatever it was, you're so upset at yourself that you can't even look at this thing in the past. And I see you wanting to be better. I see that you've turned into a person that no longer can live with these kinds of things because you are a better person. And the person that you were in the past does not define you now. But the fact that you're not willing to rectify these things and continue to just let harm be done would make you a bad person. But since you don't want to live with these things, it shows that you are a good person, that you have grown and you are willing to look at your mistakes, no matter how painful it is, not just to the other people, but to yourself, to admit that you did these things, to admit that this is a person that you once were. So I really see you regretting doing something in the past because you were young, immature, especially you might have done something out of strong emotions. I was going to say anger, but it could also be jealousy, but for some reason your emotions ruled over you and made you make this decision, and now you're living in the aftermath, and you're very dissatisfied with how things turned out, because I feel like you really acted on impulse, you did something that you shouldn't have, and you were too stubborn to take it back, and so in the aftermath, everybody was upset. You didn't even get what you wanted. Like, if it was like betraying a loved one, maybe you did it because you thought like, this will make me feel good, but it just made you feel bad, you know? And you've been so dissatisfied for so long because you hurt somebody and maybe they're living with this hurt still. Things haven't been rectified and it's just weighing on you more and more that I caused that bad thing to happen and I haven't fixed it yet. But with the calm and the Five of Swords, this Five of Swords card is all about like someone who won a battle and thinks that it's over, but you see up in the clouds everything is still chaotic. It's like the storm is still on the horizon, like this conflict isn't yet over. And with the calm card, I feel like you've been living in this calm before the storm for so long, You've been putting off this impending doom of things finally being rectified or reconciled or revealing these secrets, revealing these regrets. You've been living in this limbo where nothing is resolved. And you can feel the storm all around you, but it hasn't hit quite yet. And you've been putting it off for so long because you don't want to deal with the aftermath of your decisions. Because, yes, you regret them, but it's so scary to you to admit to them and to take that first step to rectifying them. Because, yeah, it's the right thing to do, but it's scary. And, like, you can want to do the right thing all you want, but it doesn't take away the fact that it's still scary to have to do that. But I see you finally getting to this point, especially in these next 3 months for some reason, where you finally decide that enough is enough. You are going to be the better person, even if it ends badly, even if people hate you, even if people are extremely, like, disappointed in you. You're willing to do the right thing, to rectify the situation, to rectify this relationship that has been damaged, or this person that has been hurt. Even if it's gonna blow up in your face, it's like you're willing to let that happen because you need to get it off your conscience. I mean, you've been living in this state where you're pretending that you're happy for so long, but underneath you're just miserable, and this thing is weighing on you like a skeleton in a closet, you know, and you've been covering it up and hiding it, pretending it's not there, but it's like every night you go to sleep and you know it's right there in your closet. It's freaking you out. And finally, with secrets, forgiveness, and the Chariot, I feel like this burden that you've been holding on to, this secret, this regret, you're finally owning up to it. And in the end, I think it will lead to forgiveness. I think you're so afraid that they won't forgive you because you think that you guys are still kids again. I don't know why I feel like this happened when you were young with someone else that was young, and you guys were really close, but then you did them dirty somehow, and you guys grew apart. And you have obviously grown. You've grown into this bigger, better person that wants to clear your conscience, that wants to own up to the things that you regret. But they've also grown, and they're ready to forgive. And if anything, I feel like even if you did them dirty, even if you feel like they'll never forgive you, I feel like a part of them still misses you, because the reason this weighs on you so much is because at one time you did love this person, you did really care about them, and maybe you still do. And maybe they still do as well. So, with the Chariot card, I feel like the Chariot is all about moving towards a goal, moving towards a destination really strongly. And I feel like you're finally going to be committed to rectifying this, to owning up to your mistakes. And you're going to be scared. I mean, a part of the Chariot you see is, yes, he's big and strong and powerful, and he's holding on to this powerful torch, but he's also holding on with like a white knuckle grip, like he is gripping that thing because he's scared. He is armored up because he's soft on the inside. And the thing about this forgiveness card is I feel like whoever this person is, they'll understand, and they're not going to hold it against you for the rest of your life. If anything, with the open hands, it's like they're ready to receive. So I can't just tell you like it's going to be good right away. Like they're suddenly going to be like, oh, water under the bridge, I don't care. It's probably going to be a very intense discussion or reconciliation between the two of you. And you're going to be terrified, but in the end, it's like the storm is no longer going to be looming around you. It'll finally pass over and be gone and done with, and it's not going to weigh on you forever. You're finally going to be able to release these regrets and not have them weighing on you constantly, weighing on your conscience and, quite frankly, making you miserable. So that is the unexpected surprise I see for you coming in the next 3 months, pile 3. It's not so much something coming from the outside so much as like you'll be surprised at yourself for doing something that you thought you'd never be able to do, you know, owning up to a mistake. But pile 3, that is everything that I see for you. I really hope it resonated. I hope the reading makes sense. It seems pretty specific, but I feel like all of these piles have been pretty specific today. But yeah, that's everything that I have for you. If you enjoyed your reading, please think about leaving a like or subscribing. I do post about twice a week if you want more from me. And if you're looking for personal readings, I do provide those. There's a link down in the description box below to my shop. But without further ado, that's all that I have for you. I truly wish you the best in everything that you do. Bye-bye.